Alright, we've talked briefly about how on the old maps here between 1500s and the late 1600s that the St. John, New Brunswick area is basically labeled as Nuremberg or Arcadia in some examples. Let's see if I got a couple more here. Yeah, see the Arcadia, Labrador, Nuremberg. So this is the Bay of Fundy here. Yeah, we're gonna get into some interesting. Let's see, Nuremberg. What else we got here? That one doesn't show. Nuremberg. So yeah, these are old maps. This one's 1585. So I don't know why we never learned about Nuremberg, but that's neither here nor there. One of my favorite images. This image here, where you can see people duking it out, all wizard style, all electrostatics style. Yeah, they're giving her, and this is apparently. So the I'll show you the Latin or the German or whatever the heck. What is it? There's two different versions of this, but here. Blah 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 in German, it looks like. Nuremberg. Now this is the important part. Look at this. St. John 1650. Now Nuremberg, I ran this through the image translator, and oh shoot, where'd it go? Must be this other one. Translated image. There we go. So now all these electrical things. Now let's clarify here that they're not talking about fireworks here. Those little jaggedy bolts. That's basically what happens when if there was what is it, a Carrington event, a solar flare big enough to cause all kinds of disturbances. That amplifies the atmospheric voltage gradient greatly, stuff like that. But these buildings also worked to on those principles, as we've discussed elsewhere. I'll discuss that later. The important part right now is that when they refer to fireworks, fireworks had a different definition back then, apparently, because I've seen that either that or the captions being rewritten over top of something else. But the translation says demolition of the Casper family's fireworks at the castle and barricades, in which the Peaceland celebratory meal was held before Nuremberg at the John shooting range 1650. So I as soon as I saw Nuremberg and John, I went back to the original. I was like, what the heck is the original? And sure enough, there's a little St. John in there. And the other one, it's St. Johannesburg. But yeah, I can't help but wonder now if so yeah, we got the main barricade trumpeter. This is the I ran this through Google Image Translate. Yeah. So you can read that too. Upload the image. So yeah, I'm not sure. There's the other version of this image. I think it's not a very good quality copy, but I found another version of it. I haven't run this one through the translator yet, because I can't, because it won't let me on this one. Let's see if I can do it from this one. and run it through. Boom, paste, detect language, translate to English. It's a good little tool. Let's see what it says here. Okay. Actual illustration of the fireworks, which were burned in October 16th at the shooting range at St. John's, named after Engelbart. Wow. Yeah, blah blah. I can't read all that. It doesn't always translate perfect. Now we need other clues to. But there is a shooting range here that's very old, in the north end, right near my house here. Weapons from which John's fireworks were carried. Blah blah blah. Let's see here. Small triangle. Wouldn't that be funny if this one of my favorite pictures here was like up the road? Yeah. So my studies on electro-archaeology, which I've introduced with my white papers, is the study of the interaction between historic architecture and infrastructure with the Earth's atmospheric electricity, with the Earth's global electric circuit. Yeah, because like buildings like this, they're basically built. Is that the same building as the other image? Just a second here. Oh no, it is slightly different. That is interesting. This one, it's easier to tell. Things are a little more electrical looking. That's interesting. I didn't notice that they were two different images. But yeah, the buildings are set up when you have points like this. Like the height alone, voltage gradient goes up in the air 100 to 300 volts per meter above sea level. So every meter, the voltage gradient looks like it's probably going up at least 300 volts in this area. So if this tower was 50 meters, it'd be at 5,000 to 15,000 volts sitting up there. But when you have like these pointed spires, it concentrates that voltage gradient greatly, and then conducting surfaces and flags that all. So this works as a positive terminal. It strips away electrons. The ground is a negative terminal. So you have like 4 battery banks plus this middle one here. That can heat this whole castle. That can generate light. And it can do other things, like potentially if you're sitting in one of these towers here and you wanted to maybe do some electrochemistry, you could probably get away with it very easily. I will say no more. That's for a later time. But holy crap, did I just discover that this is St. John? Because like to see the name Nuremberg and St. John in the same place in 1650, there was stuff going on here. This is a very old place. That's the focus of the St. John Mystery Guild, which is what we've been doing. So I will keep this video short and let people stew on that. Let's see the differences here. Look at this. It is different. That is fascinating. That building's different. Look at the church buildings in the background are also interesting because that could be St. John. And that could have been Martello Tower maybe. I think Martello Tower is actually older. Let's see the differences here. Look at that. The city's in the background there. This almost looks like the old skating rink that used to be here, or the rail stuff. But of course, 1650, there was nothing like that. You should look up wooden railways and things like that. Seems like some of that is much older than what is known. Much was found here when the new batch of colonists rolled up in the 1600s. It's seeming more and more like. Yeah, we've hit the 10-minute mark. St. John, 1650, at the shooting range up the road from my house in the north end, Lansdowne area. That's what I think this is. I'm starting to. What do you think? We'll leave it at that. St. John Mystery Guild. Woot.